Over the past year, I've posted many videos explaining why I think that real estate investment trusts, or REITs in short, are better investments than rental properties in most cases. In short, studies show that REITs generate higher returns over long periods of time, and that's because they enjoy significant economies of scale, better access to capital, can develop their own properties, they have better access to talent, and many other reasons. Moreover, REITs are also safer investments because they are large, they are well diversified, professionally managed, liquid, and they protect your personal liability. Finally, REITs also give you complete freedom over your time and geography, which will ultimately allow you to focus more on your career and optimize your lifestyle. Therefore, I like to say that the risk and hassle-adjusted returns of REITs are a lot stronger than those of rental properties in most cases, and I'm not saying that lightly because I'm coming from a private equity real estate background and have significant experience investing in private real estate. But there are exceptions, and I want to cover those in today's follow-up video. It's not all black or white. I also own some private real estate next to my REIT portfolio, and in today's video I want to discuss 5 exceptions when I would favor private real estate instead of REITs. The first exception would be if you cannot deal with volatility, and this is a very important one. If you know that you cannot deal with market volatility, then REITs probably aren't for you. They are publicly listed and they will go through periods of intense volatility. Just to give you an example, from early 2022 till the end of 2024, REITs dropped by nearly 30% over the past 2 years, and that's simply because they've been out of favor and there was little demand for their shares. If such volatility would cause you to do something stupid like sell at the bottom, then perhaps don't invest in REITs. They require a lot of patience and a multi-year investment horizon. I would say that you would need to be prepared to hold on to them for at least 5 years to let the investment thesis play out. Anything less than that would be highly unpredictable given the volatility of the public market. Rental properties are also very volatile, but since they are not marked to market on a daily basis, it's much easier for a lot of investors to stay focused on the long-term prospects. So know your psychological limitations, and if you know that the stock market is not for you, then perhaps stay away from REITs. Then the second exception would be if REITs someday become pricey in the future, and that's clearly not the case today. In fact, today REITs are priced at the lowest valuations in nearly a decade, with a lot of REITs trading at 30 to 50% discount to their fair value. This is one of the main reasons why a lot of private equity real estate investment firms like Blackstone have been acquiring a lot of REITs over the past year. It's simply because their valuations are lower than those of private real estate. But there are other times when REITs become expensive and private real estate becomes a better value. And we've seen that in the past. A good example was leading up to the great financial crisis in 2006. REITs were very expensive, often trading at significant premiums to their net asset values. And as a result, they also suffered a lot more than in the following years when real estate markets crashed. So you need to follow valuations very closely. If REITs are priced at a discount, then clearly it's a no-brainer to favor REITs because they have so many advantages relative to private real estate. But then there are other times when they're priced at steep premiums, perhaps then their risk-reward may suffer from the high valuations. This will also result in low yields, higher risk, less potential upside, and then you may want to favor private real estate instead. Hey, sorry to interrupt you for a second, but can you please click the like button and subscribe to your channel? That will help me a lot. Thanks so much in advance. The third exception would be if you're buying a home. Your home is not just a financial investment, it also has many non-financial benefits, and most importantly, it will give you full control over your own destiny. No landlord will be able to kick you out of your own residence. You'll be able to customize your own home according to your own wishes. And so in my case, as an example, it was very important to have a home with a sauna because I come from Finland originally and I like to go to the sauna every day. And so there are a lot of non-financial benefits to owning your own home. It gives you a lot more control over your life. And so you cannot really compare your home with REIT investments. In this specific case, again, I think it makes a lot of sense to buy private real estate. The fourth exception would be if you're able to secure a long-term fixed rate debt with very low interest rates. And that's not the case today because interest rates are historically high. I think that 30-year mortgages go for roughly 7% interest rates. But if someday in the future we again go into a zero or a very low interest rate environment, then it perhaps makes sense to buy some private real estate, especially if you're able to secure a long-term mortgage, 30-year mortgage with very low interest rates. Certain countries like the US try to incentivize home ownership, which is really seen as the American dream. And so you're able to get these very attractive mortgages with relatively low interest rates. And so this can be in some cases an advantage of buying private real estate. But remember here that REITs also benefit from leverage, and this is a common misconception that I see online. People who assume that rental properties can be bought with a mortgage, but REITs cannot, and therefore they are less attractive. But you need to remember that REITs are also leverage investments. The difference here is that when you're buying REITs, you're providing the equity, and REITs then themselves add debt on top of that equity. So when you invest in a REIT, you need to think of it as if you were providing the down payment, and they then add the leverage on top of it for you. You don't have to take care of anything, but you're still enjoying the benefits of leverage. Your equity is being leveraged by the REIT itself. Then the fifth exception would be if REITs don't exist in your targeted market. Today, the REIT market is very vast and versatile. They exist in 30 plus countries. They invest in 20 different property sectors, but there are still some market niches with no REIT coverage. I can give you 3 examples here. I'm personally very bullish on the long-term prospects of Estonia, and I want to invest in its capital city Tallinn, but there are no good REITs in this market, and so I've had to buy a private property. Secondly, I also want to own some farmland as part of my portfolio strategy, but unfortunately today there are only 2 farmland REITs in the US and both suffer some issues, and so I've had to invest also in farmland through a crowdfunding platform. A third example could be the case of Argentina. Right now, a lot of investors are interested in investing there following Milei's victory and the potential that the country now presents, but unfortunately there are very limited options in the public market. There is one called IRSA. We've owned it over the past year at High Yield Landlord. We more than doubled our money on it, but now it has reached its fair value in our opinion. We sold it recently. If you still wanted to continue investing in this specific country, I think that private real estate may perhaps offer better value than the public options. And so in some cases, REITs simply aren't an option because they don't exist for what you're looking for, and in those cases, you just have to go for private real estate. But again, keep in mind that these were all exceptions. Today, I have about 90% of my real estate allocations in publicly listed REITs. I think that they offer far better value than private real estate, especially today, given that they are heavily discounted. Blackstone, Starwood, and other private equity real estate firms seem to agree since they are very heavily deploying capital into REITs. Blackstone over the past few years have bought over 10 billion worth of REITs. And then I have about 10% of my real estate allocation in private real estate. And so this is more special situations like a property that I bought here in Tallinn, Estonia, or some farmland that I may invest in. But again, these are exceptions. Now, if you want to access my entire REIT portfolio, you can join us for a 2-week free trial at High Yield Landlord. It will give you immediate access to my portfolio, all my transactions in real time, exclusive REIT CEO interviews, deep dive research reports, and much more. Again, completely free for 14 days. You can cancel anytime, no questions asked. You won't be charged anything in the first 14 days. You'll find a link to it in the description of this video. Thank you very much for your support, and see you at my next one. Bye-bye.